Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is a special episode where we actually talk about a certain kind of theropod dinosaur, and that would be Monolophosaurus. Now, Monolophosaurus lived in the early Jurassic, basically the early Jurassic period from actually just basically middle Jurassic period, middle Jurassic period, 166 to 163 million years ago, weighed about 1,000 pounds, would actually be 18 feet long and would weigh, I already got the weight, and height would actually be 6 feet tall. Fossils have been found in Asia, and the name means single-crested lizard, and it was a carnivore, and so it would actually be, and we actually have seen many pictures of Monolophosaurus throughout the internet, and I'm going to show one to you. And so here is the skull of Monolophosaurus. So here's the skull of Monolophosaurus. Monolophosaurus gets its name because of that crest on its head. Now, this isn't a very tall crest. This is actually a very short crest, and this is the nasal bones pretty much raised up. And so that crest is basically a display structure. It's not designed for combat. And so if it was made for combat, it would actually be a thicker type of crest. And so body plan of Monolophosaurus would actually pretty much look more like this. So you actually see here, you got the crest, and so it might be brightly colored for the males. Did have somewhat stubby arms. There has never been a fully complete skeleton found of Monolophosaurus, but walks on two legs, and it has three claws on its hand. It's what they predict Monolophosaurus probably had, was 3 claws, and so 3-fingered claws. And so this animal was actually using its teeth more often than actually its claws. And so Monolophosaurus is kind of like its own type of genus of species. And so that actually kind of shows where it falls into the phylogeny. It falls into the early theropod family group. It is somewhat a distant cousin of Dilophosaurus, and it is actually a cousin of Coelophysis. And so you actually kind of see here, this is the Coelophysis skull, and Monolophosaurus shares the same features as Coelophysis, basically on this skull. Like the teeth of Monolophosaurus are nearly similar to Coelophysis, but Monolophosaurus is a much larger dinosaur. It's a small to medium-sized dinosaur. It's probably pretty much more of a medium-sized dinosaur because it stands 6 feet tall at the hip. And so when you actually look at Monolophosaurus, it is probably going to be a little bit more of a robust version of Dilophosaurus. And so Dilophosaurus would probably be a bit more agile than Monolophosaurus. But when you actually look at the environment of the mid-Jurassic period, you see is that it is actually warm, and it's actually humid, and so it is not going to be dry. It is actually going to be a tad bit more moist, or have more moisture in the atmosphere than say the Triassic. The Triassic was pretty dry. And so you actually have a culmination of that. Monolophosaurus probably lived in the forested environments and probably near floodplains. But Monolophosaurus is not very common when it was found. It was discovered in 1983. Phil Curry actually helped discover this dinosaur. And since this dinosaur was found in Asia, I believe it was found in China, if I remember correctly. It actually has the characteristics of like the early theropods, which is that it has the very blade-like teeth. It has the robust legs to actually give it some speed and also some quickness and some power. And this thing is actually pretty robust compared to like some of the other theropods, because when you look at the skull, it almost looks like it's almost robust. It almost seems like it's going to be a robust animal, which it is. It's not going to be as robust as, say, like Tyrannosaurus Rex or some of the Abylosaurs. It's not going to be that robust, but it is one of the more robust early theropods at that time. So it's not related to a Tyrannosaurus or a Abylosaurus. It is not related to those. It is actually a very distant cousin, you know, so that's where you actually will find Monolophosaurus in the phylogeny of theropods. It's said it's pretty much its own genus in the phylogeny of theropods. And then when you actually have the prey that it's going to go after, it's going to go after small dinosaurs. It will not go after large dinosaurs. It would actually be going after, probably say, some of the dinosaurs that are actually going to be a little bit more trickier to catch. Probably say ones that have speed, and they'll be probably tackling down probably say some medium-sized prosauropods, prosauropodidae, or sauropodomorphs, if you want to call them that way, in terms of the accurate scientific version of those species of that type of family of dinosaurs. And it probably actually went after some of the two-legged plant-eating dinosaurs that are actually very small. They almost look like a Dryosaurus or otherwise Leelinosaura, but they're going to be somewhat almost like that. But these would be those types of dinosaurs would almost be related to Camptosaurus than anything else. But you actually see where I'm getting at the point here. You see that Monolophosaurus would actually be just taking a big bite and actually let its prey bleed to death. It is not going to have a crushing bite. It is actually going to have a slice and dice type of bite. It is not going to have the power to crush bone, because its teeth are not designed that way, and its jaw structure is not designed that way. But it does actually give a pretty significant bite, which would actually take a good bite, rip the flesh, and actually let the prey bleed to death. And so it'll be going after the flanks and also the neck of the animals. For smaller prey, it would actually have to go right into the chest cavity, because the chest cavity would actually make the prey actually die quicker than anything else. Because if you actually are tackling down, like say a hatchling of say or otherwise maybe like a 2 or 3 year old of a sauropodomorph, then you actually have to go for the chest cavity. And then the chest cavity is where the heart and lungs are, and so if you actually hit the heart and lungs, that animal is gonna die with just one cut to any kind of a major artery, and that would actually pretty much kill the prey much quicker. In terms of Monolophosaurus' speed, I don't think it's actually going to be it's not going to be like super fast. It's actually going to be probably say like a 20 to 25 mile an hour speed for this dinosaur. So it probably can go after some of the fast dinosaurs if it can, but it's not going to be a agile dinosaur like Dilophosaurus or Coelophysis, because those were actually going to be a little bit more faster. And also the extinction is that it would actually just be due to changes in the environment. So changes in the environment would actually just be like new plant life and new meat eaters coming in, and the herbivores are getting bigger. And so that's when the problems for Monolophosaurus started to happen, is that it actually just could not compete with the changing environment, couldn't adapt very well. And so that's how Monolophosaurus became extinct. Alright, that's it for now. Now, next week will be a Q&A episode, so questions and answers. So if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go to my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you can actually post your questions in the comment section or even on the wall of the Facebook page. Remember, keep your questions short and to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at ZSGRALL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you. Notice for you younger people out there, to make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have for good education. It's very important to have a good education. So with a good education, get a good job in the future. Alright, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.